Hi, good evening, everyone. There are only some 6 people who joined this live. Hello, Malun sir.
Hey, Siddharth, good evening. Hello, everyone, good evening.
Can't hear.
You able to hear me? Siddharth? Hello?
Hi, sir. Now I can hear you. Yes.
Yeah, all right. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Siddharth.
So, for the people who are here, do you guys have any? I mean, have all of you submitted your assignment 5? I assume today is the last date. You can write your responses in the chat box. If that's okay. Submitted. Perfect. Okay. Good. Marlon sir, are we expecting anybody else also from the team?
I don't know. What about Hari and Ashwin? Are they coming or?
They should. Yeah, they said that they will.
Oh, all right. Then they only those two.
Okay, so the mock paper got released today. Unlike the final paper, the mock paper has 25 questions. Um, the final one, you can expect 35 questions. The distribution of marks, we have tried to keep equal in all weeks, although there can be a little bit of discrepancy in that. But I advise you that you go through the videos once. Um, yeah, and most of the calculations and the data sets that have been provided in it can be worked upon in a rather simpler manner. So uh, you won't need Excel directly.
Yeah,
Um,
they should. It should be good to be solved with the calculator provided by the system, TC
yes,
Scion system. Yeah.
yeah. So AP to everyone is writing how to prepare for 5 to 12. Okay. Go through the videos ideally and I mean, if you have done the assignments that were given to you, you would know what exactly it is that would we have asked there, and just brush through your concepts once, and you should that should be good enough. Also, in the beginning of this term, I had provided notes that were made by the students in the last term. If you have access to those still, you can go through them also.
So where have you provided those notes?
I'll send you a link. Hold on.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. If you guys have any issues regarding or any questions regarding BDM and term assignments or this thing capstone project. Sir, Hari sir and Ashwin sir here. No. Yes, Srinivas, what's up?
Can you clarify with respect to the practice assignment bonus marks?
Practice assignment bonus marks. What is the issue here? For 5 to 12, you weren't given practice assignments, right?
No, with other courses we have that marks. So how is the grading pattern being done for BDM? And also with respect to reflection assignments for BDM.
What do you mean by reflection assignments?
Have you looked at the grading pattern?
I have looked at the grading pattern, sir. Yes.
So the grading pattern clearly states that we should have reflection assignments. So we don't have any reflection assignment at the end of the term. So any clarification on that? Other subjects, other diploma level subjects have this. So what is
Have we specified that for BDM? I don't believe there's any reflection.
I am looking at the grading assignment right in front of me. I don't see anything about.
Please look at the general statement at the beginning of the grading pattern.
That is general for all courses, but this is not applicable for individual courses.
So the practice assignment marks are not there?
No, reflection we are talking, right?
It's not specified, right? We don't have reflection for these courses and specified for we have reflection for these courses.
I don't think we are dealing with bonus marks in BDM, are we?
No, I have to check with the Bharati madam.
Yeah.
I
There are
don't
no
know.
bonus
There are
marks.
bonus marks.
There are no bonus marks.
Bonus marks, usually how it operates in BDM is we do give bonus marks for the first 4 weeks. Last time it was under discussion whether to give it or not. I do not know how they have implemented it this time. So
They haven't, sir. There is no concept of bonus marks.
So they have to check with.
Because the one that was got shifted because the capstone project became a separate entity. So so there is no status of bonus marks that I see in the grading assignment here.
All right, and no reflection.
There was bonus of submitting all the assignments, right?
That
all
is
the
true.
4
Yes.
assignments.
That is there. Yes.
Is it still there? Like if we submit all the 4 assignments, the graded
correct.
ones, we'll get 5 marks, right?
Yeah, I mean, if it's mentioned, you should get bonus marks for that. Yes.
I do not know the number, but yes, there should be a bonus for submitting all assignments.
For submitting all assignments, there is some reward.
Yeah, there is no reflection assignments per se as part of the course.
For submitting of assignments, if you look at the specific grading pattern for BDM, it does not show up. If you could clarify on that.
What doesn't show up?
See, if you look at the MLF grading pattern, the MLF grading pattern clearly states that if you submit assignments, you will get a certain marks. But if you look at the grading pattern for BDM, there is no such marks there. So
like I said, I do not know the final version because we are still processing the capstone related things. So I do not have the final version with me.
What BDM is, I'll just read it out. What the grading pattern in front of me says, that there will be 4 graded assignments, best 3 out of 4 will be taken. Okay, right. And there was an edited thing which is like slashed in front of me, is if a student does all 4 assignments, the score of the 4th assignment not counted in the best 3 will be prorated for 5 marks and added to this. Which is correct? This was there and has been scraped off. So there is no bonus marks. Yeah.
So you are looking at the graded as in other subjects, other diploma level subjects. Suppose you have week 1 to 4, right?
Yeah.
So week 1 to 4, there are practice assignments and there are no graded assignments.
Okay.
So if you submit those, you get additional marks, not the Excel wala questions and graded assignments. No, you get additional marks in that. So that is not clear. And we have already reached the end of the term and we have posted multiple queries and there's still no answer.
I don't follow your question, Srinivas.
So Srinivas, there are no bonus marks, and if the since the pattern doesn't mention that outrightly, I believe there is no concept of bonus marks, at least in the running term. So I don't know. Are we like obliged to have a grading pattern which does give you bonus marks, or
So could you have
Just
a
uh,
want a
bonus at least for
clarification. There is
submitting
two
all the
buttons.
assignments, like the
sorry?
prorated version of the?
One
Could you
second,
have
one
a
second.
bonus of the fourth assignment? Sorry, which has the least score, prorated one.
This is the grading document that was finally shared with us. All right. Here, there is no mention of any bonus marks. It's been removed because of the
This
shift of the capstone project. The bonus marks for the fifth assignment, for submitting all 4 assignments, has been removed, and the marks per assignment has also been increased. Right. So it was originally 3 assignments, each for 10 marks would be taken. Now it is 3 out of 4, each for 15 marks that would be taken. So this is the final one that I see on my
Sir,
screen.
can you scroll to the first page of that document?
Okay.
We want clarification with respect to the course partition marks based on practice assignments. That is what we want clarification on.
This you will have to ask the team. Basically, you will have to
So we
ask the
have asked
support
the
team.
team, sir, so they had asked to post on Discourse, and we have posted that.
Please tag the support team, because we are not in charge of this piece. This is done in general, irrespective of what grades we give in our course based on the content. All right. So this clarification on this piece and clarification on participation on the discourse is not in our control as course instructors or the
No,
course
sir.
content.
See, please listen. My point is, we have written to the course support team. They wrote to ask the instructors on Discourse. So we have written it to you. So we are asking for clarification.
all right, Srinivas. Fine. Since there is like not a clarity, we don't have clarity on it right now, and we can't misguide you on a live session. So let us get some clarity on it and get back to you on Discourse as you have mentioned. So if you are expecting a reply on Discourse, we'll reply it on Discourse. Okay, we'll find that post. Apparently, I don't know how it has been missed by the support team or us, but whatever it is, you'll get a reply on Discourse about this. A clearer version of it, because we don't want to misguide you right now. Right? Is that okay?
Yes, since we've reached the end of the term, it would be nice to have a clarification on that.
Sure, sir. Okay. Thank you. We will work on it. Anything else?
So can you have revision sessions
Revision
like
sessions regarding what?
regarding the end term?
Certainly. That is what this session is for, right? You can thoroughly ask your doubts, and we are here to clear them. So
So could you revise the weeks 7 and 8?
Marlon, sir?
Yes, week 7 and 8 is Gemini contents, right?
No, Hari, I'll call him. Hold on.
Yeah.
Give me a second, IP.
Hello.
Yeah, Pratham, go ahead.
Yeah. So I want to ask week assignment 5 question number 3. Whether do we take the approved and declined count in defaulted or not?
All right. Sukrant would be answering the week 5 questions in a minute.
Yeah, sir. Give me a minute.
Yeah. Do one thing. Sukrant, you answer this question. I will follow up with Hari.
Hi, ask me again. Question number 5, sorry, question number 3, assignment 5.
Yes, sir. So in that question, it is
Yeah.
asking the defaulted rate.
Mm-hmm.
So should we use the defaulted rate for declined applications too?
Defaulted date for declined applications. How can somebody be defaulted if they're declined?
So because as you said in for question number 5 and 6, you said that we have to use the declined application also for the
the revenue that is getting
yes, sir, yes,
generated. Oh yeah. It's 0.3. Oh, that 3.5%, right?
Yes, sir. That we are multiplying
So
with the
for
defaulted
declined, I understand that the videos had applied the if condition, but the way it has been configured in this on the portal is that is accepting this thing, declined applications also. So include that. Yeah, I've mentioned that on Discourse multiple times.
Yes, sir. So for
yeah.
5 and 6 only, we have to include decline.
Yeah, just for like solving this question. Otherwise, it ideally should be the if condition should be applied. Got it?
But third question, it's like I didn't get the third question. Is it like only the count or
the count, the count of March, right?
Yeah.
Default rate.
Default rate, yeah. Default
okay.
rate of
The rate is count. Okay.
The rate is count, yeah.
So rate is count or rate is the count divided by the total?
Hello, Sukrit, I've joined Sukrit. Okay, for information.
Hello.
Hello. Okay, sir. Yeah, Pratham.
So the rate is count or the count upon the total?
What are the options that?
Sir, options are January, February, March, and April, and options are matching with if we take the default. If we are finding rate, then we are using count upon count of March upon total count.
Sorted. So okay, it's just basic logic that if any if the count of a specific number, month would be higher, then the rate also would be higher, right?
No, sir, rate is not higher in that case.
So basically, what happens is when we take count, March is higher, and when we take percentage, as like he says,
yes, sir. Then
when we do the percentage, another month is higher.
Yes, sir.
So that's where the confusion lies.
How is that happening?
Sir, because the total in April is less, the total in other month is less.
Yeah, the total is less. So in that total, the count is very much less. But percentage, if we do the percentage, it's like decline by total, it becomes higher. As far as percentage, it's higher. So we are confused if it's percentage defines rate or count defines the rate.
So as per my calculations, March, this thing, its rate is also coming 48.2, which is higher than everybody else. Getting me?
So for DS5.
What?
So for some dataset, it is coming different. Mine is dataset 5. March is coming different.
I'll check. Hold on. Dataset 5, you said?
Yes, sir.
Question number 3.
Yes, sir.
Okay, hold on. So it is still okay. For that, it is coming 43.3, is it?
Yes, sir.
Correct.
And for April, it is 48.48.
Oh, because the thing that you're dividing it. No, wait. How?
So should I share my?
Hold on. How much is it coming for April? My thing is coming 2.4%, 2.47.
Sir, for April, it is coming 48.48.
Okay, can you share your screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
We have to share. Yeah. So disabled for participant sharing.
Yeah, hold on. I'll give you rights. How do we do that? Hey, listen. Okay. Can you send it to me on my email ID? I'll
Sure, sir.
resolve it and send it back to you.
Yeah, sure, sir.
Acha, also Hari sir is here, so in case anybody has doubts regarding 7-8, you can ask them right now.
So for that, just one more
Yes,
question
sir. I have
regarding
assignment 3.
Yeah, Madhav, tell me, then I'll leave like assignment 5 for I'll leave for the rest of the people.
Yeah,
Ask
okay.
me.
Regarding the question 7-8, which data set should we use? So like both are compatible here. A/B testing and market pivot. I was confused.
Okay.
7-8.
Hold on. Hold on. 7-8. I need to look at the questions. I don't remember the questions.
And sir, in question number 10,
yeah.
one place you have said using
marketing,
A/B testing data.
7-8, it's marketing.
Marketing, correct. So
Oh.
for question number 10, one place you have said to use A/B testing data, and another place on Discord
marketing
you have said
data.
use. And for 11, 12 also we are using marketing.
Yeah.
Correct.
So no, we are using A/B testing data.
9 is A/B testing. 9 is A/B testing.
9 is A/B testing. Yeah, 9 is A/B testing.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right. Any other question regarding assignment 5? If not, I would take your leave.
Only for third you need to confirm, so that's it. Apart from that, everything is.
I'll send it to me. I'll look at it and reply on mail.
Maybe you could put a post in this Discord.
I will.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Srinivas, anything else?
Yes, for the assignment 5, for the question 11 and 12, I think
Correct.
you have another statement on Discourse key to use the A/B testing data.
Okay, I'll look into it, Srinivas. Sorry. You may take the assignment 3 questions, Hari sir.
Yeah. So for assignment 3, question number 10, the shift 1 4.33 set 2.
Yeah, I got that question yesterday in the discourse itself.
Yes, sir.
I had
Yesterday
replied.
you have said
See,
that,
if you look at
the 2 points, you said that only question number 1 and 5 will be changed, but you said question number 10 is correct, 4.33. But that is correct only if we are using the wrong formula. If we are taking actual minus 80 minus FT upon 80, instead of that, if we are using 80 minus FT upon FT, then that answer is coming. I have tagged you with that answer also. My working and many others have also the same.
No, 1 minute. Yeah. Okay, so I will check on that, by the way. But one thing that last time when you had sent a screenshot, what I was looking at is, you had actually used 0 value also in the process variability calculation. That means if there is a breakdown or if there is a plant maintenance or anything like that, okay, you had considered that this thing as 0, process variability as 0, then used it, and therefore there is a change in the value. Okay, about this formula, then I will have a check at it and then I'll let you know about that. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Hello?
We have to use 0 there, na?
Fine.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you should not be using, because if there is no process, for example, if there is no process, how will you measure performance? The process did not happen. Okay, it is only for the.
So then we will divide by 10. For that, we have to divide by 10.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So it depends on this. There are some places you'll have to divide by 10. There are some places you'll have to divide by other number, because there are two.
If we are dividing by 10, then also answer is not coming.
It should, Pratham. Okay, so I will check it and I'll get back to you, because I calculated it again yesterday. All right. So only then I put it onto this. This course, I will check again. I'll get back to you on the question number 10. All right.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Hello?
Okay, sir. Thank
Okay,
you, sir.
okay, sure. Yeah, great, okay. Hello? Any other question on assignment 3, week 7 and 8? Hello? Yes or no? Any questions, please?
Sir, could you revise some topics of week? The main concepts.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello? Yes?
Hello. Yeah, I was asking if you
Yes,
could
yes.
revise the week 7, 8 main concepts.
Main concept, one of the main concept in week 7 and 8 is the operational equipment, OEE, overall equipment effectiveness. All right. Sorry, I'm in the train, so there is a lot of disturbance here. Okay, please bear with my disturbance. By the way, the most important concept that you'll have to revise in terms of examination is the overall equipment effectiveness. All right. It is a product of availability, performance, and quality. Correct. OE is the product of availability, performance, and quality. So sometimes in cases where you know what availability is, isn't it? Whether a machine is available for production or not. If you look at performance, if the machine is performing at its designed speed or not. All right. Quality is that is the machine producing proper product or not. All right. So these are the three things that we'll have to look into. So for each of them, there is certain formula to calculate, which is actually this thing. So I'm not going to discuss about the formulas. Here, in the exam point of view, we might have some questions regarding OEE for sure. Okay, there might be 2 or 3 questions in the OEE for sure. How those questions will be like is, you'll be given certain values and they will given some OEE numbers, you'll have to calculate the quality or you'll have to calculate the performance or whatever it is. That's how the question is going to be. So one direct formula application, another one is reversal. So these two are the type of questions that you will get. Second thing, when it comes to BDM week 7 and 8 is the this thing slides. You'll have to go through the slides of each of these things because most of the questions that we have taken is essentially from the slides. All right. So if you thorough with the slides, you will be able to easily crack that examinations. One question will be predominantly application of the graphs. You will have one graph. You will have to interpret what is the graph. Okay, that is one question. ERP and other. Okay, apart from that, the other important concept, yeah, this is pretty much it. If you kind of revise through ERP, if you kind of revise through OE and you revise through all the graphs and all those things, you will be able to predominantly answer all the questions. Okay. Hello?
Okay, sir. Sir, what is ERP?
Enterprise resource planning. If you look at the first 1 hour of video, you will be able to see that. It is there actually.
Okay.
That is.
Yeah.
Please go. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks.
Hello. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
So is there any mark distribution among the week, like weighted?
No, order and all those things. So, and we are, I don't think we will disclose as to which week is important. For us, we will say that all the weeks are important. All the weeks will have more or less the same questions, but we will not disclose exactly the distribution of the marks. Right?
Okay, sir.
if there are no more questions in week 7 and 8, I may have to log off because I'm in the train. Otherwise, I don't want to disturb you guys with other noise from here. Hello?
Yes, Daddy. Any other questions from week 7 and 8 or the assignment?
Any questions on week 7, 8 assignment? If it is not, then I will leave because there is too much of disturbance on my side. Hello?
Yeah, I don't believe there are any questions.
Yeah, great. Okay. Thank you, guys. All the best for your examinations. See you. Thanks, Manolan and Subrat. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So anything else from anyone else?
Sorry, what did you say, sir?
Do you have any other questions from anyone else? Any further questions?
So can we discuss the mock paper?
You want me to discuss the mock paper? Have you guys seen the mock paper? It was released only today. Have you guys seen the mock paper? I have no objections discussing
Not
it.
yet, sir. Not yet.
Yeah, so if I start discussing it, then
Not yet.
the purpose of that mock would be lost, right?
Sir, I have a doubt in assignment 4.
Assignment 4.
Related to composite score.
Assignment 4 was done by who? Because they have to pull up the paper. I do not have access to it.
Sir did it.
Who did it?
I think it was supposed to be done by Jaimini.
Oh, Jaimini, yeah. Then you will have to post it on Discourse.
Okay, okay, sir. Yeah.
Because I do not have any knowledge about the content or the assignment, so we will have to post it on Discourse.
Okay.
So anything from weeks 1 to 4?
Question on mock test, because as you said that you can't discuss the mock right now, but any later day can you organize such session?
You can post it on Discourse, no? We'll be able to answer it all over there. We do give detailed answers over there, and most probably you will get answers from other peer learners than us before even we get to it. So you should be able to tackle everything, man. If you're at least for the first 4 weeks, the contents that was covered in the first 4 weeks for which I know about, you should be able to just breeze through. You will have sufficient amount of knowledge of them.
Yes, and so what ratios are actually important? Like the quick ratio and current ratio are there, and
you have quick
ratio,
current
ratio and all are.
Yeah, you do have to know all of them. You do have to know all of them. Yeah, I can't tell you now. If I tell you what is that and what is important, then you'll say, okay, this is what is going to come in the paper. It's not the purpose, right? So you should have a working understanding of it. You should be able to solve. Okay, I'll give you one hint. There is a question in one of the question papers where we ask you about the computation of ratios. Okay, we will give you a consolidated kind of a balance sheet and ask you to compute a few stuff. So that is that. I can tell you till that. Beyond this, I can't. Okay. This is a question that has not been given to you in any of your previous PAs or in your this thing. Let's say in your mock. You will have to develop this based on your first dummy assignment that was given, where they explain about balance sheets. Based on that, you will have to answer this particular question in the exam. Anything else from any of the weeks? Week 1 to 4, because I see all the others have left. So
it will be helpful if you could explain the last 3 slides of week 2. That is profit maximization for a competitive firm. There is a graph. So I just want your help in understanding that little more.
1 second. Let me just open it up. Week 2 last. This is with respect to production decisions.
Week 2. This is profit maximization of a competitive firm. Competitive firms short run supply curve and long run supply curve. I just want your help in understanding this.
1 second. I'll just pull up the slides. Okay, I believe this is the one. This is the slide you're asking me?
Yes.
Okay. So the important thing to know is, now we are looking at the price at which the product sells in the company and the cost that we incur on an average. So it's all AVC or ATC, right? So with respect to what price I sell and the costs that are going to be incurred, I will be defining how my company is running, for example. So when my price that I'm selling a product is greater than my average total cost, the total cost that I incur on an average for producing that many number of products. If that is high, what does that mean? It means that I'm always making money, which means I'm very profitable in nature. So I can perform this and I can go keep on doing this business, right? Then I am not greater than my total cost, but I cover all of my variable cost, which means a portion of my fixed cost is constantly being recovered by me. So I can produce the product, I can continue to produce the product over the short run till I completely recover my variable cost and I become more profitable. So that is this case. The final case is when my selling price is lower than my average variable cost, which means I am shelling out more money to produce and sell a product which is not giving me any revenue, right? So I'm constantly bleeding out, which means I will shut down. I will have to shut down. I cannot keep running a business by putting money from my pocket. So that is what these 3 things indicate. All right, making sense?
Yes, got this. Just the previous slide, the slide before this also. Profit maximization for a competitive firm.
This one.
The one immediately after. No, before that, I think. Yeah, before that. There is a profit maximization for a competitive firm. That is also a curve similar to the first one you explained. It's towards the end only. Maybe before this.
They are not changing anything.
Yeah,
the slides and the video are slightly different.
This one.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay. So maximizes profit by producing the quantity at which the marginal cost equals the marginal revenue. This is what is the questions that you solve for always about. I want to look at the point where I have profit, my marginal revenue, right? And my marginal cost is 0. Basically, both cancel out each other. The change in profit point. So if I look at this is where is my change in profit, right? So I want to keep pushing and I want to go till this point where I can produce the maximum and sell the maximum so that my total revenue is high. Beyond this point, though my revenue seems to be increasing, I'm actually shelling out more than what I get. So I will always stop production at a point where my change in profit, my marginal revenue and marginal cost equalize. That is the maximum point up to which I can go. Okay, making sense? Beyond
Yes.
that, my profit will start to decrease. Though my revenue seems to increase, my revenue will always increase because it's just price into quantity, right? And I'm going to produce more quantity. So this is not an indicator. You should look at either profit drop or change in cost drop. It's always change in cost drop because let's say there's a tie here, 7-7. Till what will I go? I will go till the 0 hits. So I can produce up to 24. I don't know how this lined up, but yeah, I will stop where my change in profit is 0. So that is where I will stop. Okay. And that is what this graph is indicating in a graphical sense. So my marginal revenue and my marginal cost intersect. At this point, I have produced to the maximum extent, sold to the maximum extent without shelling out more money. So that is the maximized point. Because beyond this point, the marginal cost is increasing, whereas the marginal revenue always is the same. So it is not, this portion becomes inviable for me to operate in the long run. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. And since we are in this, let me highlight this. I did it in the first video lecture. I'll do it again. This concept is different from, I don't know whether it's cost curves or production cost. One of the concepts covered here, the lemonade problem, right? This problem. Here, the decisions are made only based on the total cost. Whereas here, the decision is made taking into consideration the selling price of the product, the price in a competitive market where the price cannot be varied. So this is a different setting. This is a different setting. And that is where a lot of you are getting confused during the quizzes. You are going and checking only for the average total cost and selling. That point is minimum. Why should I go for any point higher? I can go for any point higher because the selling price allows me to. That is the reason. Though I shell out more money on an average, my revenue is significantly more higher, so I can produce more. That is the reason. So that is the difference between the two, cost curves and production decisions. Okay. Since we are at this topic, I will also indicate this. This change was supposed to be made now, but it got missed.
Sir, so if we are asked to calculate the optimum stock or the goods that are to be produced, where to stop, so we will equate the marginal revenue and marginal cost. Is it
correct? In that particular question, yes. You are selling at this quantity.
Where it is 0.
Where it is 0 or up to the point where it becomes non-negative. It's not necessary that you'll always become 0. You might end up with a point, since it's a discontinuous thing. Yeah. In our case, the data was given such that it becomes 0. In some cases, what will happen is you will have 2, then you will have -3. For example, the questions in our quizzes. So there, what does it mean? There is a point in between where it hits and becomes 0. That point data is not given to you. So you will stop at a point before that. Making sense? If you take your quiz 2 and solve that particular question, that is what will happen. You will have a point in between where the cost will be 2 instead of, let's say 2 or something. The change in price would be 2. And the next point would be negative. You cannot go into the negative region. So you will stop at that point, since the intermediate point values are not given. Making sense?
So can you show the working? Yeah.
1 second.
So for the lemonade case,
yeah,
can you confirm why you are taking the total cost and not looking at the profit?
Because in the lemonade case, there was no selling price given to you. That is why.
Could you work up that quiz problem?
1 second, I'm just pulling it up. I'll just
yeah. Thanks. Yeah.
Which quiz was this?
Sir, and also there's a doubt
Yeah.
with respect to slides. Will you be able to answer that?
One second, let me answer this and then I'll come to that. So this is the workings basically. So I believe there was a small change. I made a change here, but it didn't reflect in the computations. But yeah, so you have fixed cost, variable cost, number of units produced, selling price, total cost. You do all of these computations. What will happen? You will have 0, 2, sorry. You will have 0, 14.38, 14, 14.6, 13.5, 14.3, and 13.5. So what is happening? You have 2 points where there is 13.5 here, and there is no 0 at all. There is no negative values at all. So what you can basically do is I can go up to 13.5 because at 13.5 I will have more revenues as well, which is the intention of a company. So at this point I am still, if I show you too in this, not week 4, week 2. So in that particular problem, I have never hit this point. I'm still in this region. So I can keep on pushing. And that is the question. You can still keep on pushing because you have never hit that 0 point as of yet. That is the graph below, right? It's not a linear curve. You can still keep on going, and at one point you will cross, and you can see what it happens. All right.
What does the black line represent? The one on top?
The black line is going to be change in profit. This is going to be change in profit. This is going to be some wrong values that is given. This was also in your quiz, I believe. And this is something that is the average variable cost. I've not plotted the average marginal cost. I've not plotted the marginal cost or the total cost in this curve. Right?
What is the formula that you are using for change in profit?
There? MR minus AR. Margin revenue minus margin cost.
Okay.
This is there in the video deck.
Sir, why we are not taking a total profit in this case?
What we are not taking?
Why we are not looking at the total profit in this case?
You can. That is what I'm trying to say. You can. Let's say if it becomes, you are looking at the total profit, you are having 7 and 7. For some reason, you pick point number 2 and move to 30. But at 30, it might be -1, right? So that is why you stop at the previous point, which is 0. Or this could be 7 and 7, and this could be 1. It is possible for you to push one more. So you can go to the next level, 18 and 24. The alignment is not right here, but yeah, if you do that, you will be able to see that.
So our primary consideration is profit. If we have a clash in profit, then do we look at change in profit? Is that what
you actually look at change in profit? Why do you want to even consider the clashing scenario? Automatically, at the change in profit, your profit will be maximum. Whenever the change in profit is 0, your profit, that would be the maximum profit point by default.
If we have one value only, then there are cases, right, where it will not be 0.
It will not be 0. It will become negative after that. We are having one value. It will become negative after that. For the same example, let's say in this very same example, this was rupees per unit. Right?
See, when you're looking at positive and negative, then the curve can have multiple dips, right? Like in the way you have presented in the top black line, it has 2 dips where you look at 2 points. It can go from positive to negative and negative to positive again.
That depends on your numbering. So that is why you have to do the computation for all the numbers. You have to do the computation for all the numbers and see. In real life scenario, it might not happen. But we are making you think, so we are giving you several dips. So when you do all the computations, you will be able to find out. And always it will be the case that wherever this becomes 0, or this becomes 0, then positive, then again 0, whichever is maximum you can take. That is and all just use of your this thing. So this will actually be very simple. Let me do that. So now My variable cost. Let's say I do this. Now I must actually stop at 7. If let's say it's variable cost per unit, then 0 will be the starting point. I know that is 0. I have 7, then minus 8. So I'll have to stop at this point. Right? And what would be the total profit? It will be 81. Making sense?
It all depends on the numbers, sir. If you twist the
It all
numbers,
depends on the numbers, of
compared to
course.
the-
Yes, of course. It all depends on the numbers.
But again, it will depend on your interpretation of the numbers also in the exam.
Not necessary. Where is the difference in interpretation, man? The concept is very simple. I will be looking at a point where the change in profit becomes 0 and then or it becomes negative. There could be several points where it goes down, comes up for some reason. Let's say it happens. In real life, it will not happen. That is how the cost structures would be by nature. Let's say it happens. Even then, what would be my consideration? I want to take the point where the profit is maximum. I could dip, then slightly increase, then again dip. Not a problem. Then I'll take the point where it was highest and I'll stop there. What is there in interpretation difference here? It is always going to be that point, huh?
So in case if it does not reach a 0, so will you be taking revenue or profit?
I will be taking change in profit wherever it has been the lowest value before it becomes negative. That is my ultimate goal, no?
It is not reaching 0. That is my statement.
Even if it's not reaching 0, it will tend towards 0. In this case, it is not reaching 0, but it is tending towards 0, 0, then 7, then some value, then it becomes negative. So I will take the 7 value. In the previous case, if I didn't do all of this, in the previous case, what happened? Yeah, in the previous case, the last point is where I am closest to 0. So I'll take that because that is the point where my profit is also high, where my revenue is also high. I don't see any interpretation difference here, unless and until you confuse yourself.
Sir, in the first case, we should stop at 13 units produced per day, and then in this interpretation, yeah.
In the previous one, you will have to stop at 13. Correct.
Yeah, and in this, we will have to stop at 27.
In this, we will have to stop at the last point. Yes, 27.
Yeah. So, how to actually do it, sir?
I've shown you all of these computations. If you do, when the variable cost is rupees per unit,
we are getting two different answers, right?
Because the variable cost is considered as rupees per unit, so the total cost changes. So the answer changes. In the previous case, in this case, it was rupees only. This thing total variable cost. So the answer is different. Same numbers. When the variable cost was rupees per unit, the answer was 13. When the variable cost was just rupees, total variable cost, the answer is 27.
So, but then the question is what to follow.
You follow the same approach, Baba. There's no difference at all. Huh? You follow the same approach based on how the question was defined to you. If the question was defined saying that this is the total variable cost, which was the case in your question paper, then the answer was 27. But if the same question was formulated and told you that this is the variable cost per unit, then you have the same computations again, the numbers will automatically change and you will end up with an answer of 13.
Yeah.
Got it?
Yeah.
The question is different, so the answers are different. All right. Anything else?
So the question is, if we don't reach 0 and we have two similar minimums, so how do we go about it?
The question is, when you don't have 0 and to have two similar minimums, these two is there, 13.5 and 13.5. What will you choose? Why will you choose this point over this point? You tell me.
So we might have many considerations.
What many considerations? Tell me now. You are telling you will have many considerations. Tell me a few considerations.
So we might not have want extra utilization of the machinery. That might be many.
Is that in your scope right now? Have I given it to you in scope right now? Okay, right, fine.
Sir,
very good,
when you have
beautiful.
similar
Okay,
cases, what to consider?
very good. You have asked me a very valid question. Let me pull up that question paper. This is quiz 1 now. You have asked me a very valid question. This actually came up to us also in the first term. That is how we also learned. It's a learning process when we frame questions. Okay. Okay, I think this chart does not have it. Your interim QP would have it. We had specified here, because after that sir told me I do not have that paper with me, it's in my mail. We had specified here, all the units produced can be sold. Work on the assumption that all units produced can be sold. So that is the assumption that you will work on. Even if it's not given to you, this is going to be capacity that you are installing. So in that case, then you can say that since I want that capacity, I'll install that capacity and operate at that fixed at that variable cost. Anyway, it's fine.
No, sir. Suppose we have two cases. Now you are saying it to me it has change in profit is 13.5, 13.5 in two cases. So should I look at the total revenue as a secondary parameter or total profit as a secondary parameter?
Look at both and tell me what is happening. What will you choose? Look at both. Look at both the values that at the intersection. What is happening?
Sir, I'm not clear on this.
No, I'm asking you, since you have asked me, what are the numbers at the intersection points? One for total revenue, you have 330 and 405. At 13.5, you have 305 and 375. Which one will you choose?
So, sir, it is like if we change the numbers, so it will be difficult to interpret, right?
Of course, man, with numbers it will change, but the interpretation remains the same. I will always go for the point where my profit is higher, and always that point will be the second point in most cases.
Sir, we can change the numbers and make sure that the revenue and the total profit goes in the opposite directions.
You are telling me that the revenue and the total profit goes in the opposite directions. Yes, very true.
But with the same change, total change in profit. So how do we choose in that case?
Once again, you are telling me what you are telling me is this change in profit will keep on decreasing, but the profit will go in one direction, revenue will go in the other direction.
Yes.
That will never happen. Try to find numbers, logical numbers, that will never happen. Because what is change in profit? It is a combination of marginal revenue and marginal cost. And marginal revenue and marginal cost are what? Some form of total profit and total revenue. Marginal revenue is what? Total revenue by number of units. Right? What is total profit? Total revenue minus total cost. What is marginal cost? Now, total cost divided by number of units. How can a value which is related to total profit and total revenue behave differently when these two are not matching? It can never happen. No matter what numbers you give, you will always find that when this is tending towards zero, you will have one point that is higher than the other, and appropriately revenue might keep on increasing. That is a different thing. Revenue will always keep on increasing, but total profit and change in profit will be moving in a similar trend. All right. So when there are 2 points, the point with the higher profit you will obviously choose.
Sir, in one of your live session, you said we have to check a significant jump in marginal cost. And here it is not that much significant jump. And we have to find a point where average cost is equals to marginal cost. Here we cannot find.
Just refresh it. I'm not able to recall which you are looking at. I believe that would be a scenario where price was not given. You do all computations only based on cost. That is what I'm trying to highlight here. You have one lecture 2.7, which discusses about your profit and revenues. And you have a second lecture, L 2.5, which discusses only about cost curves. There, the price is not given to you at all, and you have to make decisions only based on your cost. Okay. So that at that scenario, you will find that my average total cost is minimum, and I will choose that point. Whereas when you compare it with price, I will choose for a point, though my average total cost might be higher than my lower point, I am still making more money, so I will go for that zone. Okay, and that is why the points of where price is greater than average total cost, I go in for I am profitable in the long run, right? All that comes from here. Understood?
Okay.
So there are two different scenarios. One scenario where price is not given, and another scenario where price is given.
Okay. And in one of the lecture, it says price is equals to marginal revenue is equals to average revenue. And we need to find a point where marginal revenue is equals to marginal cost, right? Where price is given.
1 second. This is that lecture. This is
it's P is equals to A is equals to MR.
What is MR? MR is number of
marginal
units.
Revenue.
Marginal revenue. It's a function of price. When it becomes zero, the quantity produced will be equal to the marginal cost. So MP will be equal to P.
That will be true for each.
At this 0 point.
Time, right?
At this 0 point, it will be true. But it's not necessary that the data that is given to you will always have a 0 point. So if it's not there, you will settle somewhere below this.
Okay, so we have to find marginal revenue every time. We can't consider it price as a marginal revenue.
Correct, yes.
Okay.
So at this point, this the equation will hold true. Because at that point, so you'll have to find. And let me just check one more thing. Okay. No. I believe your question is this. Will price always be equal to MR? That's your question. Yes, that will always be the case. Because what is MR? MR is going to be this thing, change in total revenue by change in this thing, number of units sold, which is always going to be total revenue is number of units sold into price. So it's always going to be equal to 15.
Okay, so we have to find only marginal cost, and we need to find a point where marginal cost is equals to price.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
It's easy.
Yes. Yeah, it's easy. Fair enough. But I'm telling you that all data might not have this. You might have something lower only. For example, the questions that were asked in your quiz deliberately were made sure that this point is always lower. Price has always been higher than your what is that? Yeah, has always been higher than your marginal cost. That is why you're always ending up in this zone and you're trying to choose something.
Okay.
Hello.
Yes.
Sir, Sukrit sir said that we have to use A/B testing data in week 9 or question 9, but the answer is not coming with that. Options are not given.
No, I am not aware of the assignment 9. So you'll have to ask this in discourse or to Sukrat, right? So please ask him. I'm not aware of it, so I do not know how to answer.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, in the session, Hariharan sir said to refer the slides. The slides are not uploaded in the.
Which one? Which week?
Week 7. And after week 7, the slides are not uploaded.
Oh, okay. I have to ask.
After week 8, slides are not uploaded. But he said you have to refer the slides for the end term.
So this is
and sir, what about the?
Yeah, this is September term. So if it's here, it should be there in your this thing also. That is what I was wondering.
Yeah,
It should be that. Okay, I'll ask them to check it out. It should be that, because if it was not there, our previous term should have asked us. Maybe they have missed it out in their code for uploading. I will ask them.
And so what about the practice assignment course participation marks? Because from week 5 to 8 we do not have any practice assignment, and for quiz 2 we do not have any marks. So we have not got any course participation marks which were counted as bonus.
That is what I'm trying to say. I do not know about course participation mark. If you ask me how they compute it for this thing, this is all done by the backend team. So whatever is given, based on whatever was assigned, for example, week 1, 2, 3, 4, you would have had this thing, right? Practice assignments. So only that they will consider, and appropriately pro rata basis they would compute. Okay. And now for the end term you have a mock, so maybe that they will consider as mock. I do not know. I'm just speculating. I do not know how they will compute. The support team is who they will be able to answer this particular question.
Okay.
Because this is done generally for all the
not solvable, sir.
One second. Yeah. Yes.
Sir, n-term mock is not solvable. It is just a PDF file.
Not solvable. Okay, then it's not considered, I believe. Then it will not be considered, and only this thing. So there are no marks for our paper. So there is no marks for participation marks. That is all. I believe that is how they will operate. Or they will convert only the participation in the first 4 weeks to the entire thing. Or they might consider discourse instead of this. Like I said, you will have to ask the support team, since this is basically done so that people get more engaged on the content. Since this is not in our scope as instructors, we do not know how they are evaluating it.
And sir, there will be no reflection assignments also. Like if you see the grading pattern under the discourse.
Please ask in the discourse. Please tag JK. Please tag the support staff. They would be able to tell you. Ops team, basically. I should not say support staff or ops team. So they should be able to answer this particular query. I am not aware of it, to be very honest with you. Okay. Anything else? Okay. Before we wind up, one final thing. With respect to HHI, I repeated this in the discourse. I repeat it again. It was supposed to be changed. I'm sorry, it was not yet changed. It will be done by the next term. HHI is always calculated for all the individual firms in your data. So if you go to this example, for example, if I have to calculate HHI, I will calculate the market share of each of these guys, A to F. I will square it, add it up, and I'll get the HHI index. It is not that I take based on market share only the top 4 firms. That works only for concentration index. Even for concentration index, I would specify the number of firms. I will say 4 firm concentration ratio, 6 firm concentration ratio, 8 firm concentration ratio. Then you pick the top 4, 6 or 8 respectively, and you do. For HHI, it is always all the independent firms.
Okay, in the so deck, if it was D, E, and F 7,000, then it wouldn't work, right? So then we will not include.
Yeah, if let's say it was A, B, C, D, E, and F, then you will drop D, E, and F, work only with A, B, C. I have given detailed explanations of how to, there were questions of if these account for, let's say, 60%, then am I wrong in dropping them out, so on and so forth. All those questions were asked by your previous term, and I've given detailed explanations for each of it. So please go look into it. It's a very healthy discussion as well. So please go look into that. So that is one thing. A second thing, the reason why the deck says 4 firms is in that particular deck, there were only 4 firms. And sir, just while typing, I believe has put 4 firms. We are going to take the top 4 firms and go. Because it was the top 4 firms are all individual firms, the dex mentioned it like that. That is the reason for the error. We will get it rectified ASAP before the next term. All right. So that is one thing. Please make a note of it. HHI is calculated for all the independent firms that is provided in the data set. Okay.
So can you clarify return on capital employed, ROCE, how it is calculated?
ROCE, I do not know, man. ROCE, you will have to ask either Hari or this thing. I am not an economist, so I do not know.
So it is from week 1 to 4.
Correct. It is from week 4, but that particular piece alone, I'm not an expert on it. It is from week 4. In fact, for industries only calculated, I believe. Week 4 or week 3 financial ratios. ROC, yeah. That particular piece, I do not know.
There is I have a small doubt on interpreting concentration ratio.
Okay.
So there is one slide.
One second, let me pull it up.
Just before Herfindahl index.
One second, yeah. Concentration ratio. Which video lecture does it come in?
This is week 4, just before Herfindahl index.
Correct. Which video? Industry definition?
I'll just.
Yeah, I believe it's an industry definition. No, these are types of industries. Data used for LCNI.
It will be in 4.3.
Yeah, industry market structure and concentration indices. Okay.
Entire number of.
Okay, 1 second. Before HHI. So this is this slide.
Little bit after that.
You mean to say?
Yeah, that one.
This one? Yeah.
Yes, that one. So
Okay.
The below 40 is monopolistic.
Generally, yes. It's
And
considered
also
monopolistic
above
competition.
95. So
Okay, you can consider 95 or very close to 90. That is okay. That's no clear thing. But this entire region where you do not have, you have a lot of players playing in, it's oligopolistic.
So I just want to have some logic so that I can remember this. Towards the end of this video, they have a slide where the numbers are also given. 0 to 5 is perfect competition, 5 to 40 is monopolistic.
Yeah, on timestamp 2014.
40 to 90 is oligopolistic, and 95 plus is again monopolistic.
Usually. So they have already given. I do not know what you mean.
So other than just mugging up this monopolistic is 5 to 40 and above 95, can you suggest some logic so that I can remember this?
Okay. So what is meant by perfect competition? It means there is no single person who is able to capture the market, right? So I will move from perfect competition to monopolistic. So as I move, that means people are having some amount of, let's say, some amount of market share almost equally among themselves. Then it is monopolistic competition. Up to 40. What happens at 50-50? It means that two players are starting to operate. That is why they are not given 50 and given it at 40. 40% means no single person has all the market share with him. It is always divided. Okay. Above that, what happens is beyond, let's say 40%, someone is having a majority market share, 42, 43, 44, 45. So it becomes more oligopolistic in nature. And finally, towards the end, one guy is having everything. So it becomes 100. Okay. Is that making somewhat sense?
Yes, somewhat.
So that is why I want 40 is above that number, it basically means something like one guy is pulling more amount to him, or he's having more market share than the rest of the other guys put together, top 4 people put together, right? So that is why they are stopping at 40 tentatively. And these are general assumptions. It's not, it may not hold true for every case to case. It would be vary. But generally we are telling 40, around 40, you will see that everyone is equally split. in the market share. Beyond 40, it might not be the case. All right.
Okay.
So can
that
you
is
explain
but,
that EBITDA ratio?
Can
I? Explain that EBITDA ratio.
EBITDA, EBIT.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I said, EBIT, ROC, these are not my cup of tea, guys. I've studied them very long time ago. I do not remember much. So you might have to post this in discourse and tag Hari or tag Hari. He would be the better person to answer these. Okay. All right. Anything else?
Would it be possible to have a session sometime next week before the final quiz?
What do you want to do?
Maybe we will probably have some more doubts on week 1 to 4.
As we haven't attempted the mock yet.
My request is please post it on discourse because we are starting to prepare for something else, so it might not be possible for us to keep a session. So please post it on discourse. Week 1, look, week 1 to 4 content, any questions that you have, do tag me. I will definitely get back to you within 24 hours. All right. So maximum, usually I see it once or twice a day. I go into discourse and I check. So if you have tagged me, definitely you'll get an answer. The only places that I don't answer is when you tag me in content that I do not know about. For example, anything about week 5 or the assignments, I have no control over them, so I do not interfere in that. So week 1 to 4, any questions that you have, please do tag me. I will find an answer and I will get back to you. Okay.
Thank you.
Or I'll at least, if it's about this EBITDA or this ROCE, then I will tag Hari and he might answer, or I'll ask him to answer. All right. So, but most of the other questions you would find an answer from me within 24 hours maximum.
Sir, in quiz 2, there was a question, which one is the implicit cost for a firm?
Okay.
And the answer is the cost of wages foregone by the owner of the firm.
Okay.
How the cost of worker wages and salaries is wrong?
Wages and salaries is given to an external resource, right? You are having them to do this work from outside. So wages and salaries is not implicit cost. It's an explicit cost. It's a direct cost to the company. So you cannot consider it as an implicit cost. That is why that is wrong. Whereas this company is owned by the owner, and whatever amount he would have got, he has actually pushed back in. So that is implicit cost. That is why that is an implicit cost. Okay.
It's not clear yet. Sorry.
It's not clear yet. What is not clear?
Like both are wages. How one can be implicit and other can be explicit?
One is for the owner of the company. The other, he is part of that company. Whereas others, you are hiring to do that work. Basically external resources. And that is how we are defining implicit cost. Anything that is incurred for an external person. So that is why it's an implicit cost. So that is why this wage is not considered and that wage is considered. Making sense?
Okay, so those workers. So those workers are not permanent employees, is it?
They could be, but as part of this particular job, that is what. For example, if you go to the, I do not know which question was that. There was also a question about IITM remuneration in our practice. I do not know which week. So there, if you see, the IIT faculty are hired by the institution. So if you consider teaching in the institution, their salaries will become this thing, direct
implicit
cost.
Okay, direct.
It will be direct cost. Whereas if you consider them for BSc program, if they are used, it will be an implicit cost because this wing is not paying them anything separately. They are just coming here for remuneration and going out. They are resources for IIT itself. So that at that time becomes an implicit cost for the organization. So similarly, The workers hired for doing the work in that scenario will be direct cost, not implicit cost. Whereas the owner of the company, he is part of that organization. No matter what happens, he has to bear it. So his revenues becomes an implicit cost for the company.
Okay.
Okay, so that is the reason. And this is a very, very gray area. When I say gray area, what I mean is some costs, if you had come to my previous lecture, the last one, I would have shown you that some costs can come in two heads. It is possible.
Yes.
Where you account for it depends on how you perceive it and you do it. Some options can, in some places it will come in two places. Such options we not usually given exams. In some scenarios, it is not possible to include it in two places. At that time, it will become this thing. It will become only one head. Yeah. And over time, a cost can change in nature. At one point, it could have been a capital investment. Later on, it might become historical cost. That also I told you about, right?
Yeah.
Opportunity cost, historic cost, all that will happen. Over time, it will change.
Yeah. Okay. And another question was economies and diseconomies of scale explain why the long run average total cost curve is typically U-shaped. In that lecture, short run average fixed cost, no, not that one. Marginal cost curve must intersect the minimum point of the firm's average total cost curve. Like in that lecture, those curves were intersected at the minimum point.
Okay. This is there's a difference. These computations are being done in the short run. They are talking about long run. So long run, there would have been one curve where they put it like this, and then they would have indicated several curves in between. And that is where they will be explaining it. I'm not able to pull out the exact video. I don't know which week that comes in, but do go check it out. There'll be one red line, one blue line, which goes like the shape, let's say parallel to this, and then it will have two tails, and then you have several red lines in between. That is where they explain that. So in the long run, everything will become variable, and it will have a typical U shape. It will go like this. In between, all the short runs are also actually U shaped only.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So can we have another session before the exam? Like, can you do that?
Like I'm telling you, put it in the discourse, tag me for weeks 1 to 4. I will definitely get back to you within 24 hours. I do not know whether another session might be possible.
Okay.
So that would be the best thing. I would have responded to all of your queries in this course for weeks 1 to 4. So do not worry about it. The very, very few questions that I miss are primarily because I would have been flooded before the quiz. That be, let's say, 50, 20, 30 of you posting, let's say 10, 5, 6 questions each. So there'll be 100 odd posts. In that, when I'm scrolling down and looking, it might get missed. That is the only reason. Or else do post it, and I will respond within 24 hours maximum.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Sir, in that worker wages question, how will we know that worker wages, he's an IITM guy or an IITM working for BSc guy? How will we know in that question?
Come on, Baba. You have asked me this on the course also, and I responded it. When I'm clearly telling IITM faculty remuneration.
Sir, for point number 1, I have not asked this question before.
All right. Okay. There is a question on Discourse. Then please go there. It is there. You can find the answer there. I've responded to this in Discourse. It is there.
Okay, sir. Can you explain now? I looked at that also.
Okay. The same explanation only. I've already clearly mentioned that they are IITM faculty, and IITM is going to start, and they are going to play a remuneration. So it by default means that IITM faculty are internal resources. So money spent on internal resources come in implicit cost. That is the definition. So it comes under implicit cost.
This question, how will I know that the worker wages are external workers or internal workers?
They are, I have not given you any scenario, so they will be only external only now. And I have not told you whether the worker was already there and they are coming here. Nothing of that sort is given. So you'll have to think that they are all external people for that particular job. In the IITM case, there are two scenarios that happen. IITM starting a new program and using the faculty. There, I've just told you, when I consider I'm just having wages for people, then that wages obviously will become this thing only. will not be for internal resources. It's quite straightforward.
So
we
is
have
there
to,
book or something to clarify all these costs? Because we always got confused. Like,
okay, this request had been coming from the previous term. I also spoke to Sir. Sir said there is no specific books. There are a lot of books that give you this thing. Usually, I believe CBSE, NCRT textbooks on economics have a good good, very basic explanation for these costs. So that should be a good thing. Any CAS would be able to help you even better.
so there's a question, demand is inelastic when karke?
Demand is inelastic when?
The answer is a leftward shift of the supply curve raises the total revenue. Can you explain this?
If you, okay, if you, what is a demand curve?
So demand curve is the amount of goods available plus the demand of that product.
Is that the demand curve? Demand curve, I'm asking you, what is a demand curve? Demand curve is a curve between price and demand. Price on the x-axis, demand on the y-axis. That is what we are doing in this course. All right. So that is a demand curve. Now, what happens when the demand curve shifts left?
But if that is the price, then the answer is based on total revenue, right?
When it shifts less, demand less, demand reduces.
So what is happening? So proportionately, it's going to reduce. The curve is shifting proportionately. So it is an inelastic curve.
No, demand is reducing, right? So the product is elastic, right?
So what? It's proportionately reducing. Now, elasticity or inelasticity does not mean it's not reducing or increasing. It is the rate, or it is the this thing, 1 or less than 1. So when there is a shift, there is an inelastic curve. All the other options would not match inelasticity whatsoever.
So there are 3 demands, right, in the course. There is a price demand, there is a supply demand, there is a cross price demand. So which demand are you talking about?
No, in which thing are you talking about elasticity? Beautiful. Yes, the very first lecture that I covered was precisely on this. Which in which of these computations you talk about elastic and inelastic?
Inelastic, elastic, we can talk in all 3, no, sir?
No, you cannot. One is elastic, inelastic. The other is luxury, inferior, or necessity. The final is what? Substitutes and this thing. Substitutes or complements. So elastic or inelastic is primarily referred to only based on your price. So that is where elasticity comes into picture.
So for the other 2 cases, we cannot talk about.
There are, you can draw parallels or you can draw analogs, but the terminology is different. I cannot say for a income elasticity curve, I can't say it is an income elasticity is elastic in nature. That does not make sense. You'll have to say whether it's a luxury good or whether it's an inferior good or whether it's a normal good. That is for income elasticity. Cross price elasticity is a completely different story. I can't say cross price elasticity is elastic or inelastic. You'll have to tell me whether it's a substitute or a complement, because you're taking demand of one item with the price of another. So there are 3 different things.
So with suppose you are saying income, if the income changes, if there is a change in demand, so we cannot say it is inelastic or elastic. We cannot say that.
You can say whether when the income changes and if my demand changes, I can appropriately say, I can still say whether elastic or inelastic only based on magnitude. That is fine. But the proper terminology to tell me is whether it's an inferior good, normal good, or a luxury good.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. I believe there are no more questions. Do you have any more questions? All right. Thank you, everyone. All the best to you. For weeks 1 to 4, if you have any questions, please feel free to post it on Discourse and tag me. My handle is @Milo. So you'll be able to, I'll give you a response within 24 hours. Same thing for mock. Any questions from weeks 1 to 4 in mock, please feel free to tag me and I'll give you a response within 24 hours. Okay. So that's all. All the rest for your exams, and see you in the next course that we need.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks.